Welcome, my loves, and welcome back to The Unwritten Life, the story of Claire, which we are telling the story of the major arcanas through Claire's life. And we are up to chapter 7. We're going to call this chapter The Strength Within. So, the shared drive with Leo, the Chariot, had deepened that unspoken bond between them. Claire felt a newfound sense of direction, quiet confidence in the wheels that she was now actively turning. She was moving forward, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually. The city, once a daunting place, was slowly becoming a landscape of opportunity, viewed with clear eyes and a steadier heart. Yet, true strength wasn't just about movement. It was about facing what still held you back. One morning, Claire received an email, a seemingly innocent message from a distant acquaintance back in her old life. It was a casual invitation, a reminder of a social gathering that she used to attend. But reading it, Claire felt a familiar chill, the ghost of the old prison reaching out, the forced smiles, the superficial conversations, the feeling of being utterly invisible, even in a crowded room. It all rushed back, a wave of discomfort that she hadn't anticipated. For a moment, the old fears whispered, what if New York was just a temporary escape? What if she couldn't truly change? Well, she found herself later that day pacing her tiny apartment, the email open on her laptop, a knot forming in her stomach. The urge to reply with a polite, vague excuse, to retreat into her familiar shell, was strong. She felt weak, vulnerable, as if all the progress might unravel with one single click. Just then, the phone rang. It was Isabella, the Empress. Her warm voice, grounding presence. Darling, I was just thinking of you. I'm struggling with a particularly stubborn root. Could you possibly lend me an extra set of hands? Well, Claire hesitated, but the plea for practical help, coupled with Isabella's easy warmth, pulled her out of her head. She went downstairs. The thought of the email momentarily forgotten. Isabella was indeed wrestling with a thick, gnarled root in a large terracotta pot, a plant that she was trying to repot for a client. It's dug in deep, this one, Isabella mused, wiping soil from her brow. Think it knows best, but sometimes you have to show it who's boss, gently but firmly. Wow, as they worked, pulling, prying, and carefully untangling the stubborn root system, Isabella spoke about the hidden resilience of living things. The most beautiful blooms often come from roots that have fought the hardest, she observed, her hands expertly guiding Claire's. It's not about brute force, my dear. It's about knowing your own strength and using it with patience and conviction. Well, Claire found herself exerting more physical effort than she had in years, muscles that she'd forgotten that she possessed. They were protesting. But a strange satisfaction was growing within her. As the last of the stubborn roots finally gave way, Isabella smiled. a look of profound understanding in her eyes. "There," she said, nodding at the loosened plant. "Now it's truly free to grow." But later that evening, back in her apartment, the email still glowed on that screen, but the knot in Claire's stomach had loosened. She thought of that gnarled root, of Isabella's quiet conviction, and of Leo's steady purpose. She thought of her own journey from the self-created prison, the daring leap into the unknown. The fear was still there, faint echo, but it no longer paralyzed her. She typed a reply, not an excuse, but a clear, concise decline. She wished them well, but politely stated that she was focused on a new beginning in New York. There was no apology, no lengthy explanation, just a simple, firm boundary. Hitting send felt less like a battle won and more like a quiet affirmation. Claire stood by her window looking out at the city lights. She realized that the strength Isabella spoke of wasn't just physical, but a quiet, internal fortitude. It was the strength to say no, to protect her peace, to choose her own path, not with a roar, but with a quiet, unwavering resolve. This was her strength, not a roaring lion, but the gentle, persistent hand that guided her own wild spirit, allowing her to stand tall and rooted even amongst the concrete jungle. Well, there is our strength. So, I hope that you're enjoying this. I am. I'm truly loving it. Um, we will pick this back up. Let's say chapter 8. I'm going to call it The Wheel of Fortune's Turn. So I hope you look forward to that. I thank you as always. I would recommend, I will add the playlist to every one of these. I would recommend starting at the beginning. They're not that long. Just so that you can catch the storyline. Completely up to you, but that is my wish. I thank you. I love you. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.